Now, going over to the Culture Prod podcast, you have the Gun Owners of America on the Chevron repeal by the Supreme Court. Now, this is brought to us, of course, thanks to Gun Owners of America on X Twitter, in which you had this recent ruling by the United States Supreme Court to finally take away some of the power from the overbearing, gluttonous government that is the United States federal government these days. Now, they say, quote, how judges use Chevron against the Second Amendment. Step 1, claim a statute is ambiguous. Step 2, pretend the ATS interpretation is quote-unquote reasonable. Step 3, rule in favor of the ATF against the Second Amendment. Thank goodness this absurdity of Chevron is over. Which, yes, 110%. It didn't go as far as I thought it would. It got 28,000 views and 1.6 thousand likes. So wait, maybe could I make it 1.7? No, I could not. But yes, this is one of the best pieces of news. Again, there is going to be a whole ripple effect when it comes to the implications of the United States Supreme Court repealing that Chevron defense. And yeah, one of the reasons why the ATF, some people might compare them to a rudimentary schoolgirl in terms of their mental intellect, or a deceitful devil in terms of how they manipulate the law so they can throw people in jail and kill their dogs, which, spoiler alert, they have a high propensity of doing such things. And you see this in the Second Amendment community so often. That's why a lot of people, if you're pro-Second Amendment, you have to be pro-into politics, because the ATF would just make a ruling and they could turn you to a felon overnight. Or maybe like with the Trump stock ban, very similar. I mean, one of the most famous ones being the pistol brace for the AR-15, where the ATF, again, they signed off on this patent invented by a veteran to have the pistol stock, but it would wrap around your arm instead of being a solid piece of plastic at the end, like a traditional rifle stock. And they said, yes, this is approved, everyone can buy it, you're fine. All of a sudden, the ATF decided, you know what? We're going to reinterpret this rule and make 10 to 40 million Americans felons overnight because we would treat it like an NFA item, another unconstitutional piece of crap, also known as the National Firearms Act of 1934, which, by that act, in order to buy a suppressor, a short-barreled rifle, short-barreled shotgun, destructive device, or machine gun, if your state allows, you must pay a $200 tax stamp. You also have, nowadays, you have to get a passport photo taken, fingerprints taken, standard 4473 background check, and it usually takes between 6 and 9 months, depending on if you're buying as an individual versus a trust, which, I mean, anyone with a modicum of patriotism or knowledge of the founding fathers would say, that sounds unconstitutional and disgusting to me. It is. And that's all because they just created these laws out of the blue. Now, in regards to the pistol brace. So it is great to see the Gun Owners of America bring this to everyone's attention. Now, some of the top comments comes from, let's see, Aiden Johnson saying, man, this was so frustrating years ago. Now the bump stock ban and Chevron are overruled in a single year, getting 36 likes, which, yes, they are now legal again from a federal perspective. Depends on what state you live in. But yes, that was, now it is heartbreaking again in terms of the bump stocks. The original patent holder was a veteran, and he actually set up a whole shop in Warren, Texas. And they actually employed almost, I think, 48 people, including his family members. I mean, that thing overtook the market, then the government killed it, and I don't think the business is coming back because binary triggers have overtaken that technology, and some states are banning it. It's sad to see that business go under because of the government being tyrannical. Kevin Evans says, I'm old enough to remember that when the statute was ambiguous, it would be void for vagueness, getting 9 likes. War says, looking forward to a lot of reversals, getting 8 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Nick Pantone says, not just the ATF, but every damn bureaucratic regulatory agency. This is a big win, getting 9 likes. True, big win for the Constitution. Let's see here. So thankfully, we'll see hopefully the solidification of many of our Second Amendment rights as they find that they can no longer actually just ambiguously make up the law on a whim, or more accurately just reinterpret the law and make millions of Americans felons overnight. So some good news for the Second Amendment is always something to cheer for, especially on this day, the 4th of July, where it's kind of disgusting that some Americans, some people living in America are anti-gun, and they forget they're only here because their founding father had guns. Not only do they have that, but civilians and citizens, guess what? They had more guns than the government. Private citizens had everything from cannons to warships. And that's how our country was founded, and that's how it is intended, and that's how, of course, it should be. Again, little ADHD, the government keeps saying, you can't own a cannon. You couldn't own a cannon back in the day. Not only you can, you should, and in many states, United States, you can. In fact, flintlock pistols, which see over there, again, free flintlock pistol or 50 caliber musket with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn a little bit more. In terms of those, they all had them. And guess what? These aren't even legally considered firearms because they're so rudimentary. So Maybe next year we'll do the AR-15, Time shall tell, also known as America's rifle. But let me know in the comments, do you think the ATF will actually abide by this? How might they try to sneakily take away our firearms again next? As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers at the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.